good day, or whatever you can say, wherever you live, wherever you are, whoever you are. Welcome, this is Warframe. So, before I've been streaming Killing Floor 2, which is actually kind of a fun game, and now I'm playing a bit of good old Warframe. I think it's my favorite game of all time for various reasons, which I'll probably go over as I do some casual stuff here. I have about an hour planned for this. I'm probably going to shoot over the 60-minute mark quite a bit, but it's fine, it's fine. I'm in no rush. So, Warframe. Warframe is probably my favorite game of all time. In part due to the amount of visual customization of the things that the game has to offer, and also because of the limitless amounts of weaponry and what have you. It's just such a great game. Yeah, so what I'll be doing today is probably do some fashion frame, which means it involves me picking a Warframe that looks kind of nice on its own, and then see what I can do with it to make it look even cooler, with armor attachments and a thing that's called ephemeras and skins, color palettes. It's all there. To really get the extent of customization on the Warframes and really grasp what it means to fashion frame. I'm also quite heavily invested in the Warframe Runway subreddit, where I post a lot of fashion frame that I've come up with, and it's being pretty well received so far, so I think I've got an applicable taste, is what I'm going to call it. Right, so let's get into it. I'm gonna hit start, and then I'll see a message with some random drop for the day, and then I'll go into my arsenal, or maybe show off my operator fashion first. Let's see. A little bit of a hiccup. Oh no, it doesn't drop anything for me because I've already received the drop yesterday, I think. It doesn't matter. So, welcome to my spaceship. So in Warframe, for those of you who don't know, Warframe is a kind of a Space Ninja simulator, third-person shooter with pretty much every kind of weapon that you can imagine being put anywhere. So the creators of the game are really creative in the designs and what these weapons can do. There's, I think, over 500 weapons, different weapons right now. Energy weapons, projectile weapons, thrown weapons, melee weapons in so many different flavors. Like, I don't know, there's whips, and there's bladed whips, and there's swords, long swords, short swords, very big swords, very small daggers, there's axes, hammers, scythes, sickles, great scythes, and
Me too.
yeah, thank you, Ordis. Ordis is your ship, Cephalon. It's like an artificial intelligence, only that in lore it's not an artificial intelligence at all. It's just a real human's consciousness being put inside a computer. Yeah. Anyways, Warframe's got a lot of shit to offer, and this spaceship is kind of your main menu, if you want, if you will, which is the coolest shit I've ever seen. Like, you've got a lot of decorative elements here. These gold linings and the filigree and all that is part of some interior decoration that I got for myself. And these stains on the ground, they're actually colorable if you want, so I colored them a dark crimson shade to suggest that they might be blood, but you might also color them a rusty color to really get the wear and tear look. I had them gold colored once, which is looking really weird, but it's fine, I suppose. Yeah. So what do we have here? So the most important things in your main menu, and this is the coolest main menu I've ever seen, is the navigation console. The navigation console is used for entering missions. All the missions are instanced, and you can join them. and if you join them publicly, you get matched with other people, and the game is more or less purely cooperative in that regard. So you'll get matched up with a maximum of 3 people, so that you're a squad of 4, and you just kill it. And maybe later down the line I'll show you what that means. Then there's this console. It's just news. Like, you can enter the news and see the latest updates on the game and the cosmos behind it. Then there's this console. It's the Syndicate's console, where you can receive special rewards for doing special tasks. There's this console. That's the PvP shit. The PvP in this game is rather small due to its cooperative nature, and so people are not really into that, but it's still a part of the game regardless. Then there's this console. It's the Codex, where you can read up on all the different things that you've seen and learned, which is also kind of nice. And then there's this console, which is the store and the marketplace, where you can spend either in-game currency for blueprints to craft new stuff like weapons, warframes, and armor parts and whatnot. But you can also expend real-life money and currency for premium shit like cosmetics and stuff. But the cool thing about Warframe is that cosmetics, almost all cosmetics, can be gotten without spending a single penny, which is kind of nice. This is the radio console. Way back in the day, it didn't do anything other than give some random radio chatter, but at some point Nightwave was introduced, which is like a rogue radio station in space. And Nora Knight is the radio moderator behind this, and she's giving out tasks to the players of the game, the Tenno as it were, and you receive special rewards for doing them. There is nothing. That's just an image of another Warframe called Yareli, I don't know. But it looks like there belongs a console for something there. So let's go down and see what we have here. So that's the foundry. This is where you craft all your different parts. You can craft weapons here. You can craft other warframes here. Warframes are kind of the characters that you play as. Kind of difficult to explain. This is your mod console, so every piece of equipment that you get can be customized in what damage it does, what resistances you have, how much energy your Warframe has, and so much other shit. And this is where you do that. So you can view all your modification modules in this console, upgrade them as need be, but equipping them actually happens over there. We'll get to that soon. Yeah, this is your little sentinel. This is where he sits in the main menu, kind of thing. A sentinel is like an auxiliary unit that follows you around during missions, and each sentinel has a specific set of skills that he's pretty good at. This right here is Helios Prime, and Helios Prime is pretty good at scanning his surroundings, but also his body is like broken up into parts, and he can just fling them at enemies, and they die pretty fucking quickly from that. So I think Helios Prime is the biggest kill stealer of them all, and he deals major damage on top of being able to scan anything, and scanning rewards you with codex entries, information, lore, and some affinity, which is this game's way of experience points. And then you have this. This is the incubator, as it's saying here. The incubator is for your pet. This is my little pet that I got. It's an infested kind of pet. Infested is one of the factions of the game. And the infested are like biomechanical, half machine, half biological creature with lots of strands, tendrils, pus, but also lots of half molten metal bits. It's kind of interesting. And the incubator is where you get your pets. You can have Kubros, which is this game's version of dogs. You get Kavats, which is this game's version of cats. And you get like these Helminth charges, which is like an infested version of either of these two. And yeah, that's pretty cool. So the heart piece of it all is this. This is the arsenal. This is where you equip your warframes. So this right here is a warframe, as you can see. It's Trinity Prime is what she's called. Warframes are kind of like the characters that you play as. To explain it a little bit, warframes are like, yeah, let's say an equivalent of an adult 18 plus version of Power Rangers, I would say. So warframes are each different in what they can do and what they're good at, and have each different stats and looks and skins, but also different abilities. Each warframe has 4 active and 1 passive ability, and Trinity Prime, for instance, is very good at healing and replenishing energy to the team, and is a very good support warframe, which is why I love her so much, because she's also very, very, very survivable on her own, and is nearly unkillable, and I love that kind of shit. Also, the looks of that thing are gorgeous. I love it. I think it's my favorite warframe design in the entire game. Yeah, and this arsenal is where we'll be equipping warframes, weapons, sentinels, pets, and other pieces of equipment. Then here is a console for Void Relics. To briefly iterate, Void Relics are used to get special loot in special circumstances in special missions. Then you have... yeah. Then you have this. There you can board your Railjack. The Railjack is your very own big spaceship that you can use in special Railjack missions. I'm not quite that much of a fan of the Railjack. It's not my favorite piece of content. I avoid it most of the time, but it's nice to have, I suppose. This right here, and you can't actually see it, but this door opens when your warframe has been infested with a certain, well, infestation, and this door opens then. And behind this door is like a seat with an alive thing that's kind of nestled itself inside of your ship. It was a big thing when the update dropped that introduced this content to the game. Yeah, you can do copious amounts of stuff there. And over here is your personal living quarters that you can decorate as you see fit. Now, you see I have this little, this little image here. I have this little display here of the Orc and Moon tile set. I've got a fish tank with a weird looking fish. I've got this thing here. It's a display of one of my favorite Warframe designs. This is Excalibur Umbra, colored in white gold, as I love it. This is another painting. It's the painting of Balas, one of the main antagonists of the game. That right there, down there, is an instrument called the Shawzin, and it's an instrument you can actually play in-game, which is kind of a nice touch. Another fish tank with another fish, another painting of Teshin, a vital character to the story of the game. Another display case where I could probably make these 2 bland figures into something more, but I haven't gotten around to it. Then you got, oh, hello Helminth Charger. Then you got this. This is the Ludoplex. On the Ludoplex, you can play little mini games once you've bought them of certain syndicates. And then there's the Soma Court. And the Soma Court is really interesting because right now you don't hear any music at all. But if you open the Soma Court, you can actually switch between music tracks of the official soundtrack, and this is awesome. Also, There's one specific Warframe that allows you to create your own music and use it uh, as attacks, which is fucking amazing. Okay, and yeah, I've done quite a few tracks. This is Bad Apple from the Toho series. This is just the thing that I came up with. It sounds kind of repetitive, but I think I nailed it. And this is Po Pee Po, which is a very popular Vocaloid song. You know, at one point in my life I was hugely into Vocaloid, believe it or not. But what I want to listen to is this. The best soundtrack of them all. That's... oh yeah, and once you open that, the music just starts playing in the background while you're here in your main menu in your spaceship. These are Noggle statues, which are kind of cute. And as you can see, there's a Trinity Prime Noggle statue. So Trinity Prime is usually black and grey and shit, but I've colored her white and gold because I love it. Here is apparently something that if I kneel here will happen, so I won't kneel here, but I got a big window where I can look out into space, if I so desire. Oh, over there's another spaceship. It's actually a Grineer Galleon. Isn't that nice? Right. So, yeah, that's that. And then there's one more room where your operator sits. And the operator is the person behind it all. You see, Warframes are not so much suits or individual characters with personalities and shit that you control. Warframes are... let's just say they are biomechanical, half-human robot shells? It's difficult to explain. But these shells, the Warframes, are controlled by the operator, which is, in this case, my gal over here, and the operator controls it via an ability that's called transference. Usually they could only control it while they were dreaming, but now, with their power unshackled, it's something about the story of the game, they can control the Warframes via thought and transference alone, which is kind of cool, to be honest. So let's just put this Warframe aside, hit a button, and this is my operator. Welcome! This is my main gal. I have a couple of designs, and you know what? I'm actually going to showcase some of them. So, let's see here. In the menu I can go to on the Appearance tab, and then we can see that there's a lot of shit to be had. We have facial accessories. Right, so if you wanted to see her face, we can always remove that mask. So that's her face. I think I did quite a good job. And there's copious amounts of other accessories to be had. Some accessories clip into each other, some don't. Sometimes it bothers me, sometimes it doesn't. Usually it doesn't though, because the clipping works rather well, I would say. Yeah, I'm not going to change anything about the design of my operator because I love it so much, but I can showcase a few designs. We also have this, which I call the Void Demon. It's a totally different take with a totally different suit, right? So you get to choose like a transparent suit, and this is the emissary set, and it looks badass, is what it does. Then there's an animation set that you can pick depending on which focus school you have, which is kind of the ability set that you go for, and you can choose that for your operator. And then there's attachments. In this case, it's just an ephemera, and ephemera is like a particle effect that you can apply to warframes and operators. Right, so I could also use the Protowire Apex ephemera if I wanted to. This is what that looks like. I could use the Sanguinex Prime Wings, which is also kind of cool and does fit the Void Demon vibe pretty well. You know what? I think I'll go for this. It's pretty nice actually. Yeah, and then you got like, I haven't really thought about anything with this. To be honest, I just slapped it together and called it a day because I'm only using setup A and B anyway. But my favorite must be this one, I think. I just love the white and gold vibe of it. So, so much for the operator. Oh right, there's another facet to this, I totally forgot. There's the Drifter. The Drifter is like an adult version of the operator that has gotten pulled through time and space. So it exists alongside the operator. And I also have a few appearances for them as well. So this is like my shadow operative is what I called it. It does look very ninja-y, and I wanted it to do to look ninja-esque. Some people it has reminded some people of Raiden from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and I can totally see that. And then there's this one, which I call the Orokin Starfleet Commander. I think it looks beautifully over the top. It's just crazy looking with all the white and gold and the big armor parts and whatnot. It's kind of funny to me. And then there's this, which is my Grenier Kuva agent, and I quite like how it turned out. Yeah, isn't that nice? So, but I'll keep the Drifter over here, which is kind of nice, but I'll switch to my operator right now because I'm more of a fan of the white and gold vibe, and the operators are the only ones who like get the cool prime suits for lore reasons, of course. And I think I'll go do some casual fashion frame and see what I can do. So I'm always trying to get some new and unique looks, but it's actually quite difficult to fashion frame some of these frames. This is my Trinity Prime, and I think I'll start by showcasing some of the looks that I came up with. So Trinity Prime is, as I've said before, my favorite Warframe in terms of looks, but also in terms of gameplay, because she's super survivable and just doesn't die, and this is really cool. So there's quite a lot of things that you can do, which I'll showcase in a minute. Then I got like, come on, there we go. Then I got like the Corpora Arca setup, which I think on Reddit I called it the anti-meta tech. It's been well received actually. It's Nova Prime, which is a Warframe that focuses around the theme of anti-meta, which is really cool, by the way, as a concept. In essence, Nova Prime, or Nova in general, is just a one-trick pony. There's her ultimate ability, it's the 4th ability that she unlocks when ranking up, leveling up, and it just primes everything for exploding, and then you shoot something a little, and then everything just goes boom, which is super handy, but also kind of the only viable ability that she has, which is, it's this one, Molecular Prime. Primes are enemies in a radius with volatile antimatter, and then things just go explodey. The wormhole can be okay, I think, you know, covering long distances and shit, but it's just, it's so niche. Yeah, anyway, that's it for that, that getup right here. Actually, the default is what I play with most of the time. Default is where I put all the warframes in and weapons that I level up currently. This is my Mesa in a sentient skin getup, which means, yeah, the sentient are a different faction in the game of, well, sentient android-like beings. Like they're sentient machines that turned against their creators long, long ago, and now they've returned and shake the place up a little bit. And this is a sentient design. Oh look! I just saw it. The this warframe is actually infested with that pus thing, which gives me a chance to showcase this room, finally.
Disgusting, is it not, operator? Orders would enjoy
Purging this.
cleaning this room, but sadly this vile mass serves you and your warframes unnecessarily equally.
Yes, it does. You know, it has the ability to consume warframes, to bestow certain abilities to other warframes, kind of like that.
But there does seem to be a relationship between your warframes and the infestation. I would be careful in here, operator. The
Right he
message
is.
Orders does not trust this thing.
Right he is. And if you've got this little pus thing on your neck, you can just sit down here and let the helmet remove it. And the removal is permanent, and the affected warframe will never get this pustule again. You actually get it by interacting with other players who play a very specific warframe, which is kind of a cool concept that has been introduced when the warframe called Night is dropped, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to remove it because I hate how it looks.
Have you lost your mind?
And I've not gotten into the whole helmet thing myself anyway. I play the game way too casually for that. So there we go. Now it's been removed and I'm a happier man. And once I remove this, I am unable to enter this anymore. Isn't that nice? Okay. Let's go through some other things in my arsenal. So I got the Dexcalibur setup, which is, yeah, it's the Excalibur Umbra frame with a very specific skin installed on him and very specific, yeah, like attachments and whatnot. And I think it looks quite nice. I can even zoom in on the helmet, and it's the only helmet that's got like a human face kind of behind it. It's also for lore and story reasons. And I will always use this helmet instead of the intact one because it looks so goddamn cool. Then I got like the Golden Ghost setup that I call it. Well, it's not so much a ghost. Wisp is more of a yeah, a will-o'-the-wisp fairy type thing. But actually, I call her the Golden Ghost because she flies, and she's the only one of 2 warframes in the entire game that have a moveset wherein they're flying, you know, and it's very unique. It's very nice to look at. And I think the design of the skin, of the deck skin that I got installed is good by itself. And in the white gold tone that I use it's amazing actually. Also, Wisp is the only warframe who doesn't have any feet. And if you wonder what this is, it's not feet. Because the legs are, let's see, these... This is the cursor, by the way. The legs are these things, and these things that look like shoes at feet are actually like shin guards. They're not really feet. Interesting, is it not? Then there's this, my infestation getup. This is Nidus. This is the infested warframe that infects other warframes that it meets to get the pus bubble that I just removed from my other warframe. And I fucking love Nidus. He's just that much of a powerhouse. And he's borderline unkillable too, if you know what you're doing. And I love it. And then there's my Protovire getup. It is a sentient-themed Styanax Warframe, which I really like the design of. And actually, I have designed this one specifically to farm the Protovire, like Cyandana and Armaset and whatnot. But more on that later. So, let's go over to default and see if I can equip some random Warframe that I don't really have a fashion thing for, and see if I can fashion it up a little bit. So, what do we have here? We have Saren, Valka Prime, Volben. I fashioned most of them, I think. Oh, sorry, I'm getting tired a little bit. Loki Prime, which I got quite the nice fashion for, actually. Saku, Yarali. Well, I fashioned most of these, didn't I? Oh, that's rather interesting. So, what are we going to do, actually? I don't know. There's not a lot of things that I haven't already touched upon. Maybe I'll just showcase some of my favorites. Ivara Prime, for instance. If it'll load. So, let's get into the nitty-gritty here a little bit. So, Ivara Prime is one of my favorite looking Warframes in the entire game, because this ethereal jellyfish quality that it has, it's so cool and so unique amongst the other Warframes that pretty much no Warframe looks like Ivara, and I love it. And over here you can see the tabs. You got 3 configurations for how the Warframe looks. You can expand this by spending premium currency, but I've never found a need to. And let's actually switch between these and see what I've done with the Warframe designs. So this is kind of it's not the standard Prime skin, it's the Zamario skin, as you can see here. But if we switch it up a little, there's these are the skins available for purchase, and every skin that doesn't have a price tag on it I've purchased. So you have the standard Prime skin, which would look like this. And then you have like the Zamario one, which looks like this. You got the Obsidian skin, which looks like this. Totally different vibe. The Kuvail Huntress skin, which looks like this. The thing is, when I do it like this and showcase it and let it show beforehand, before I actually equip it, it shows also in the color configuration that I did it, which is kind of nice, to be honest. And the Greg skin, which the skins usually have different textures and different designs and work with different colors in a very particular way, and that's a very enjoyable piece of a piece of information to know, and a very enjoyable thing to have. And the Zamario skin, I think, does the best job of making Ivara Prime look the best. Then there's the Arcuata skin. So most skins come with a different helmet, which I like very much. The Estria skin, which looks actually kind of weird to me. And the Yokai skin, which I enjoyed on my PC account quite a bit. But we won't be taking any of that. Let's switch between the different configurations and see how it looks like. What it looks like. I swear I can speak good English. So let's see. Ah, right. This is my favorite. I think on Reddit I called it the Royal Palace Guard and people loved it. This is, let me remind you, this is the same Warframe as this. but with different attachments, a different skin, a different helmet, a different cape, which are called Cyandanas, and different armor attachments, and a completely different color scheme. But I fucking love it. I think this is one of my favorite creations in the entire game, if I'm being quite honest. I just love it. And what did I do on C? Nothing really. I think I just fucked around with the Zamario skin and not really going anywhere, and then I think I just dropped it. Yeah. If I'm playing Avara, I'm usually going out looking like this these days, even though like the prime vibe of the white and gold. So what else? Ah yeah, the regular Ivara, which I've draped in entirely different skins. Let's see. This is the Kuvile Hunter skin, which just looks amazing. It's still the same Warframe, it just looks different. What else do I have? Ah yes, I think this is my Grineer getup. It looks okay, but I never really did anything with it. Oh yeah, and this is yet another instance of that Royal Palace Guard you saw from before, but on the regular Ivara, not on the Prime version. But I think I switched that to the Prime version because why wouldn't you use the Prime version? It has better stats than the regular version. So which frame didn't I really fashion? I don't know. Ah yeah, let's showcase Garuda real quick. Garuda is another Warframe that is really fun to play around with. And Garuda is actually quite hot, if I'm being completely honest. Garuda's theme is all blood, gore, vampirism, that kind of thing, lifesteal and whatnot. And this is kind of the infested setup, which I try to make look as demonic as possible. I oriented myself at the Demons of Doom 2016. And I wonder if I do have any other get-ups ready, or if I just never really bothered. Ah yeah, this one, whatever this one is supposed to be. And of course a white gold version of it. Because why not? Interesting. Let's see here. Amber Prime. Oh yes. I think one of my favorite looks that I've come up with is this one. I fucking love it. I think on Reddit I called it the Demon of Hatred. Not quite sure. I think yes. It's just gorgeous to me. So, do I have any other looks for Ember Prime? Let's see. Ah yes, this one, which isn't actually all that good, all things considered. Oh yeah, and this one, I love it. This is so cool to me, this industrial metal look. I love it. Right, so, but let's go into the nitty-gritty and see if we can do some actual fashion frame here for once. I fashioned up most of the things, but I didn't really do anything for Inarus Prime. So let's pick him. Well, I did do something, of course. It's the Mummy Warframe. But I didn't do everything that I can, so let's see if I can do something else. Ah yeah, this is the standard Inarus Prime look. This is quite fresh. Let's see if I can change it up a little bit. So there's the Inarus Ramses helmet. You can switch between different helmets as need be. Whatever you like. But I think the Prime helmet is pretty cool, but the Ramses helmet is also pretty nice. It's a very, very difficult decision to make, in my opinion. Let's stay with the Inuris Prime helmet for the time being. However, there's also the Ramses skin. And usually, if you equip a different skin, the color scheme changes entirely based on what the skin's original color scheme is. So, that he looks completely different now is actually not surprising. I think we could stay with the Prime skin for the time being. Then you can select animation sets, which is kind of nice because every Warframe comes with at least 2 animation sets. Some certain skins come with animation sets themselves, and you can like switch between these as needed. But for this one we can... I mean, look at this. It's very female, isn't it? It gets better. I love it. But there it is. Inuris Noble Animation Set. He's a mummy after all, isn't he? Attachments wise, you can select chest plates, which you can't really see because he's holding his chest like that, but trust me, it's gonna look okay. How about... what's this? That doesn't fit, right? You can also customize the colors on all of these. Avia Prime. Oh well, look at the time! I've been rambling all the time, all the while forgetting that I'm on the clock. Shit. I don't really have a lot of time left, so let's see if we can just whip something up real quick and see if it looks okay or if it turns out to be abysmal. But I think the Vatala Prime armor is going to do a lot for this Warframe. Oh, this looks kinda evil almost. I love it. So, of course, the Imugi Prime leg plates, I have to do it. I just can't go without it. Not on Inuris Prime. And then there's like the ephemera, which is auras and particle effects. And actually, the Protovire ephemera looks quite cool, but I won't use it here. Most of the time I don't even use ephemeras on Warframes because they sometimes just don't fit any Warframe at all. Sometimes it just looks ridiculous. I mean, I guess this is kinda neat. I'll keep this. And the auxiliary is just some random shit. You can actually have like beards for Warframes during men's health days and shit. Warframe does that sometimes. It's a temporary thing, so don't delve too much into that. And then there's the Sayandana. Actually, let me remove that ephemera real quick because it muddles the way I look at things. I really don't like that. Then there's the Sayandana, which is just capes that you can attach to the Warframe. And there's so many different capes and different things that you can put on the back. It's crazy. So many different... This is a fucking chem tank. This is the cape. I love it. There's so many different things that you can do. And this is why the customization for looks is so goddamn high in this game. I mean, oh look, it's wings. It's just straight up wings. They don't make you fly, but they look cool. Oh look, this is the one cape from earlier on my other Warframe, the Trinity Prime. There's this music Sayandana, which is looking fucking amazing. There's another Sayandana from the Jotunheim series, which is also looking fucking amazing and very regal and heavenly. There's this is one of my favorite ones. Then there's like, I don't know, look at this one, it has an eyeball in the middle of it, and all that kind of thing. There's lots of gold bits and lots of cool looking shit. There's the Protovire one, and the Protovire things evolve when you meet certain challenges, and you actually get different iterations of them, and I'm missing one iteration of the Protovire Sayandana, so I'm very excited about to get this challenge done soon. Yeah, so there's just lots of shit to be had. This is just like a straight up warrior cape and I love it. I fucking love it. The Scarab Sayandana, it looks very in line with Inaros because it's part of the Inaros Ramses skin collection, which is actually kind of neat. The Serenadine Prime Sayandana is part of Octavia Prime, which is looking very nice. And there's so many more. The Tsujinasa, it's just also wings. Oh, it's like cool looking wings. Ah yes, it's very nice. Volca Sayandana is part of Ember Paraxis. Yeah, Verismo is part of like Octavia Maestra skin, I think. Yeah. And all that kind of thing. So you can just take one of the games that you own, and I think this one fits perfectly with Inaros Prime, the Spectaca Prime. And we can, if you want, color the Spectaca Prime Sayandana in any way we want. But if you want to preserve Inaros Prime's original looks, which we'll do for the time being, we can just copy the main colors. And then it looks like this. We can also give it random colors, or default colors, or attachment colors, or random colors, random colors, random colors. But we can also pick colors ourselves, like this. There's a great many color palettes to choose from, which is awesome AF. But I'm actually doing something really quick, which is this. And I think I like this. And I think I like a bright white. I like me some special gold. I can give it an energy color with which it will radiate, and I give it an energy color with which it will radiate also, which is kind of neat. And then we got ourselves a nice looking stuff thing. Attachments wise, we can also copy the main colors, which makes it look better. And then we can change the main colors of the Warframe and see what it does. I think I'm gonna keep the white of it. Real quick. Wait a second. White. I have a few favorite colors saved for quick access. Like white and black go without saying. Ah yeah, this is where I can change the blue into anything I want. I love the blue because it has this pharaoh vibe, but you could also paint it yellow or red or cyan or this brown beige color, which is also kind of nice, or gray or black or even white. You know what? I'm going for white this time because I love white and I love black. Also, the gold bits don't have to be gold. You can also color them red or blue or black or real red or beige or cyan. You can color them like greenish colors, and it's just metallic. I'm going usually for the gold because I love gold and white as a color combination. And then we got like the colors that the Warframe radiates with, and the colors that the Warframe's abilities are going to get when they're used. And now, when we go into attachments and copy the main colors, bam, there we go. So I think it's done. Let's change up the animation set to Agile and see what it does. Look how cool it is. It's just that cool. I love it. How about Excalibur Zato, Excalibur Umbra? It's all different animation sets and it's very, very cool. Caliber Noble animation set has him even flying, but it doesn't change his movement set, which is kind of sad. But it looks pretty fucking cool, doesn't it? I think I'll keep this. Dang. Now that I can see the chest, I can maybe put another chest plate on it, because Avia Prime, while looking cool, doesn't really quite cut it for me. This looks nice. This looks nice. This looks actually quite nice. This looks okay. This looks okay. This looks not nice at all. Targus Prime is always a good choice. Tenacon is kind of nice. Tenacon 2 is kind of nice. Vitala Prime looks like it's made for this Warframe. Very good. Ah. Good looks, good looks. Maybe I could use a different Cyandana though. I like the Spectacular Prime, but the Isabeau looks pretty good actually. Or the Jindo Prime, which also looks good, but it's very rigid, so I don't like it as much. I like the more flowy things a little bit better. Like the Secutor, but the Secutor is also not that good. But I also don't have anything that looks very Pharaoh-ish, so I don't know about this. Apis is too infested for anything. But it looks cool, it really does. Wait a second, can I copy main colors? It doesn't look any better. Well, who cares? Impetus Prime looks okay. Kuva Cloak doesn't fit. Krusos doesn't look very good. Olanix doesn't really fit the theme. Misa Prime looks always good, but it doesn't really fit, does it? Nodo Prime doesn't really fit. Oblivia doesn't really fit. Nasaru doesn't really fit the theme. Obsidian Sedai Sayandana does fit the theme, kind of. Pala Sayandana. I think the Protovire does look pretty fucking good on this thing. You know what? Let's settle for the Protovire. I love it. It looks really good. And just like that, we have ourselves like a very good looking Innerus Prime. Fucking hell. He's a fashion powerhouse, is he not? Yes, he is. Very nice. Oh yeah. Also, you've got like sigils that you can put on the thing. There's like emblems that you can choose from, and there's the Vasera Sekara, which has also 3 iterations based on how much of the challenge you did of it. And it actually looks quite good on the Vitala Prime pieces for the shoulders, so I think I'll use these emblems, you know, now that I've got them. And then there's a front sigil that you can put on, well, the front. Let's say I want the, where's my favorite one? Let's use a Riftwalker. And then that's like a little residual image that gets put on your Warframe, and you can actually pull it up, pull it down. I think I'll put it here. make the alpha maximum, and then there's 2 colors about every sigil that I can change. 1 color in this case, since it's a prime thing, it has gold, so I'll color it gold. And then there's like this energy color. And I color the energy of the Warframe. And damn, it looks pretty nice, doesn't it? I like it. And then there's the back sigil. It's the same story. You put a sigil on the back. Usually I'm putting a sigil on the back that you don't necessarily see, which is certain sigils that give you certain benefits with certain factions that you joined, and most of them don't look all that good, in my opinion anyway. And so I put them on the back, usually to reap the benefits of having the sigil equipped without having the looks of my Warframe disturbed. Since I'm part of the Cephalon Suda syndicate, I'm putting the Labyrinth sigil on there and make the alpha the least it can be, and it's almost invisible. Make the width and height the least it can be, and then you don't even see it. Isn't that nice? Yes, it is. Yeah, that's a fashion frame for you. Lots of different customization options. And I could make him look different. I mean, this looks different, doesn't it? Yes, it does. This also looks different, doesn't it? Yes, it does. I love it. I'm loving this game. So, is there one more thing that I could showcase? That looks pretty good. Yeah, Gyre. My design for Gyre is, I think, one of my favorites. I love it. I call it the Empress of the Red Dynasty, I think, on Reddit. And people loved it too. It's just a quick showcase. Nothing major. I'm not gonna go into excruciating detail. So, this has been some fashion frame, some showcases, how the game works, how the fashion frame works. You can also fashion up your weapons. That means there's skins, there's color palettes, all that kind of stuff. And the customization even goes so deep as to have attachments for melee weapons and whatnot. Just a quick showcase of how many primary weapons there can be. Each square is a single weapon, right? So let this sink in for just a minute. And that's only the ones you can buy and the ones I already have. Most of the weapons you have to craft. You can't actually buy them. Same story here. That's secondary weapons. And that's just so many of them. And it's not even half of the secondary weapons that exist in this game. And then there's melee weapons. There's many more melee weapons available for purchase. But I also got quite a lot of melee weapons already, so each square is one weapon. And it's also not even coming close to how many weapons there are really in the game. So, yeah. That's that. And then in the arsenal you can also change up your sentinel, which is this one. You can also customize it visually with attachments and colors and whatnot. And you can equip different sentinels, like the Nautilus, or the Oxalis, or like the Death Cube, the Diriga, the Taxon, Shade, or Worm. And there's like, oh yeah, my Kubros, the Chesa Kubro, which you can also customize with different armors and colors. I called this Kubro Chesa. I called this Kubro Name Her, because it said that I should name her. I'm that creative. I call this Kubro Pinsindleton, in honor of one of my favorite stand-up comedians, Louis C.K., who did a show once and made a joke about this name. That's all I'm gonna say for now. Pin Sindleton, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ship Niggurath. This is my infested Helminth Charger, and Ship Niggurath is actually the name of a Lovecraftian god, for those who don't know. Then there's my Kavat called Smeeta, because she's a Smeeta Kavat. Also designed to perfection. Then there's the other Kavat called TB, a little wrongly written, in honor of the name of my son. Yeah. But I'll stay with the Helminth Charger, Ship Niggurath. Then there's this, the gear wheel that you can equip many different things to. And then there's this,